Yo, welcome back to the Shoutout, you guys. It is me, Dontra, and I'm so glad you guys can make it. In this video, as you can see from the title, we are talking about Phantom Seer Chapter 20, all right? So, I'm glad you guys can make it. This is the second Phantom Seer chapter discussion we are doing, and it's actually getting pretty good. But before we get into it, I would like to say, if you like this content and you want more, please make sure you smash that like button. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you come back to the Hideout and see all of the great things that we're doing. And if you have any ideas, anything you want to throw at me about Phantom Seer, you want me to add to the channel, please add that in the comment section below. Or if you just want to talk about the chapter, you can do that as well. I'm always here for it. And if you want to support the channel, we would very much appreciate it. You can hit up the Ko-fi or Coffee. I don't know how it's pronounced, but you can hit that link up in the description as well. And also the Dontra Hideout Patreon, and that would really be appreciated, you guys. And thank you very much. So, as I said, this will be Phantom Seer Chapter 20. And before we get into it, intro. So Phantom Seer Chapter 20. This chapter was fairly quick, I felt like. I felt like this chapter had some really good points brought up to it, though. And we got introduced to a new group. We have an antagonist group coming, you guys, and I'm actually really excited for this. Like, I love when we get this human v human action within exorcism manga. Like, I feel like those are always some of the coolest moments because, you know, you got humans in a world where the main entity of like villainous things or antagonists is usually this supernatural force, but now you have these human beings going against each other. I find that really cool, and I love when stuff like that happens within exorcism manga, right? So before we get into that new group, though, let's start at the beginning of the chapter, and we have the defeat of that nurse dude, you know what I'm saying, him acting a fool, screaming out this, that, and the third, and him losing that arm last chapter where they burnt and they sent it on fire. And we basically have these dialogue moments of that other character that was with that fire dudes group coming, and then them talking about they're going to take that nurse dude hostage. I'm sorry I don't remember names, you guys. Phantom Seer names aren't clicking for me yet, but they taking that dude hostage, and they're going to take him back to Iori's place with his sister, and they try to get some information off of him and figure out what this conceiving hand shit is. So I thought last chapter, when the conceiving hand thing was brought up, I thought that we were going to get information on kind of what they were this chapter, but actually we didn't. And it finds out that the protagonist group, they don't know what it is either. They don't know what a conceiving hand is, and it seems to be a term given to the people dealing with that Sinjo chick, right? So it's really interesting to hear that. And then they also talk about how there are humans that are forcefully have to deal with phantoms, usually like run into phantoms a decent bit, are the beckoning hands, which we know, which is Riku, right? So, and they talk about how there are humans who just don't deal with phantoms, like don't really deal with phantoms much at all. So like that kind of distinction that I'm talking about, that kind of didn't confuse me, but kind of had me wondering, okay, so these conceiving hands aren't necessarily the same as a beckoning hand where we knew, but they have, like, as I was saying last video, I kind of was talking about how I thought a conceiving hand may have something to do with birthing curses. But now, after reading the chapter, I kind of think the conceiving hand may have something to do with people who actively go out looking to deal with curses. I said curses, Lord, Jujutsu Kaisen getting to me. Deal with phantoms, right? So these people, they don't want to have to deal, they purposefully are going out and looking for phantoms, right? They're trying to, I guess, get intertwined with this world. I guess you could say the opposite of Iori, right? Iori wants to be normal. Not anymore after this chapter, finally. But, you know, he doesn't want to talk, he doesn't want to really be normal anymore. Now he's talking about how it was the point of being normal if the world was in chaos. Okay, dog. Yeah, all right. You didn't, all right, Iori. All right, Iori. Thank you. Get rid of all of that. You want to be normal-ish, Iori. I'm tired of that. Okay. I need you to be you. Be the shadow dude. Get fired. You know what I'm saying? Live that life. But other than that, yeah, I think it might be these conceiving hands. Maybe people who weren't dealing with phantoms at first, or maybe were, because they theorized that maybe they conceiving hands were beckoning hands first. They aren't sure, but maybe they're just people who went looking at, maybe found out that phantoms was a thing somehow. Maybe a tragic event happened to them, something of that nature, and now they've gone out and is looking for phantoms, looking to become a part of that culture, and that's how they run into the Sinju chick, and maybe she's been out here finding people that to get them intertwined with the phantom world that aren't beckoning hands, and then they're turning them into conceiving hands. Or maybe it's the opposite. Excuse me. Maybe she's looking for beckoning hands and is turning them into conceiving hands. I'm not quite sure. But it is very interesting to see that bald dude that came to meet with Idori's sister, they don't know what it is, and they're just trying to figure out what it is, and they're trying to take homeboy hostage to get information out of him. Well, that goes south because he gets his chest blown out. So, yeah, he dies. They clean that up, get man's out of here. That's not happening. So they ain't getting dude's not gonna be hostage. Personally, I don't think that they were going to get anything out of him really anyway, because dude kind of seemed like he was at the end of his depths anyway. And I'm not sure if the chapter even mentioned that, but he did seem like he was kind of at the end of his wits and that he was kind of on the decline mentally. Like he just wasn't there no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if there was even going to be any information they was going to get off of him. And that may be a side effect of dealing with the Senjo chick, right? Like a side effect could literally be you dealing with her, then whatever you get from her gets taken away, and now mentally, you know what I'm saying, you're just out of it. Maybe him specifically, became too intertwined with her, and maybe that's why he took that route. Because I will say the other members at the end of the chapter, they seem a lot more composed. But then when I think about the nurse dude when we first met him, he also seemed pretty composed. You know, of course he seemed off his rocker because he's, you know, combining phantoms and people, but he also seemed like he was kind of composed, smart. I'm witty, I'm going to outsmart you type of deal. So maybe that's a facade, and maybe that's something, maybe you get a type of personality switch when you get that chick intertwined with you and stuff like that. That could be a thing. What I also want to talk about is how Iori's sister does that little hint about a big battle almost coming, right? Where she tells dude that they can take Riku and Iori with them to do whatever they got to do, right? Because she's like, they're going to be necessary in the upcoming battle. She felt there's going to be necessary in the upcoming battle. What also kind of confuses me, which I hope we get more background on, specifically this Senjo chick, right? Is why in the world they was out there just letting her be out and about. Because Iori's sisters even said it when she was like, you know, our mistake of letting her be out and around is like basically coming back and backfiring. That's kind of, you know, the words that she put together. It is making me wonder, why did y'all let her be out and about? Why weren't y'all hunting her consistently, like really looking for her? Because it seems like this whole time she's been building back up her strength from that last encounter with Iori. So I'm just really confused on what was the scenario and the reasoning for why they didn't go right after her ass. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was some other stuff going on, which is why I would like to get that flashback. Because like I said before, that whole Iori situation with that girl doesn't really seem like it was just a clean and cut. He was with this beckoning hand girl he was trying to protect, got into a scrap he couldn't handle, and she died. It seems like there was a lot more to that situation than that. I could be reaching, but I feel like there's more to it, and the mangakas are waiting before they spring it on us because it's going to be some really, really big deal. That's just an assumption that I'm going with, right? But aside from that, at the going toward the end of the chapter, like I said, where they're walking away off of the school and whatnot, we have the new antagonist group at the end. I'm excited because they all look really cool. Am I the only person that kind of got Bleach vibes off of them? Like, don't kill me if you're looking at me like, don't you dare attack Kubo like that. Because I'm not saying they look as saucy as Bleach characters. I'm not even going to say that lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to say that lie. But I will say that them standing there, and I think it's dude standing with the coat, with the trench coat. I think it's dude with the trench coat. I think he the one that's giving me that 1,000-Year Blood War vibe. Like that fit is giving me the fits that some of the Soul Society people had during the 1,000-Year Blood War. I think that's the name of the arc. I think I named that arc wrong. I'm sorry, I'm not really a big Bleach fan, but I think I named that arc wrong. But I think that's the vibe I'm getting off of that, which is why I'm saying that. But they look really, really cool. But what has me interested is man's at the last page who says, "Oh, I wonder if we can be friends." Well, of course we know he don't really want to be friends. His definition of friends probably be let's scrap and kill each other because that's what friends do. He probably seen out like that or some shit. But I'm still interested in who he is because if he's gonna say some words like that, clearly the mangaka are trying to make you interested in who this guy is, which is why they gave him the last bubble dialogue like that at the end. So I'm hoping that they actually come through and they give us some fire dialogue. And it's looking like, as you guys are probably sitting here waiting for me to say, that we are about to be leaving this damn school setting. And I keep saying that I think Phantom Seer is at its best when it's not in the school. I think when they are outside the school and they are doing things, I think that is when Phantom Seer starts to really shine. So I'm waiting for Phantom Seer to come out of this school setting phase because I feel like it's a phase. I don't see this manga going for 100+ chapters and they in this damn school. I don't see myself reading it that long, I'll be honest with you guys. So I think that they are going to start getting out of that phase, getting out of that school setting phase, and this is the beginning of that. They're probably going to have these fights maybe on school grounds, but maybe these fights may be outside school grounds, and I'm hoping they're outside school grounds so they could just go all out and they don't have somewhere to run to. Like, I don't like the fact that they were able to pause for a second when fighting dude with the girl who had the phantoms in her and was able to run into the room Yuri is in with all of the talismans and stuff up. To me, that's a cop-out when you're in the midst of a fight and there's stakes. That's a cop-out. You know, it's like, okay, I know there's this room they can disappear to, so let's just let them disappear to this room, and then they think of a plan. I mean, that's too convenient. It's way too plot convenient. And I think that with jump manga of this type, battle manga, always seeming to raise their stakes, like Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia, them consistently raising their stakes, I think Phantom Seer is going to really be hindered if the mangaka keep using that little room and keep everything in that school setting. Like, even My Hero Academia it don't stay in a school setting, right? And it's called My Hero Academia. So I think that Phantom Seer needs to start to bring its way out of the school setting phase, but it can't just be next thing you know they're not in the school. The mangaka, I think, know that, and they have to make it feel organic, and I think they are doing a good job of that, which is getting me excited for the future of Phantom Seer, right? So yeah, I think this Phantom Seer chapter was actually pretty good. For only 20 chapters in, I think Phantom Seer is starting to finally get there. Like, I think now we're about to start seeing, okay, Phantom Seer is getting heated. I think these new characters coming in and doing things are about to really get Phantom Seer up there and really get the stakes high, exciting, and have people going, oh my God, I want to read Phantom Seer because I'm seeing all of these cool fight panels and stuff like that being posted. So that's what I'm looking forward to as a Phantom Seer reader, you guys. And that is all I really have on Phantom Seer Chapter 20. If there's some things you feel like I missed, please make sure you say that in the comments below. And as I always say, it is me, Doncho. Thank you for coming back to the Hideout. I appreciate you guys, and I hope we can enjoy this Phantom Seer ride for a very long time. All right, peace. Young noise.